guys, so this is my third time filming this video because every single time the video is too long and I feel like it's just a waste. So I'm going to be summarizing everything really quickly to keep it short. The topic of this whole discussion is ARCs. ARCs are advanced reader copies. Basically, they are books, actual paperback books of titles that have not come out yet but are circulating for review purposes. Publishers actually manufacture, produce, whatever, these books or advanced copies and then send them out to book bloggers, booksellers, bookstores, and book reviewers in magazines and such, just to create a buzz about the book so that more people would know about it and more people would pre-order it and their sales would go up. That's the whole point. It's a marketing strategy, a very smart marketing strategy for them and for us. The main question that I usually get is, how do you get ARCs? So you need, first and foremost, you need a good audience, a good number of good statistics for your book blog or your booktubing channel. If you have good statistics, then you have a higher chance of actually being taken seriously by the publisher and actually sending you books. If you're new, don't bother requesting books from publishers because they're going to know that the only reason why you started that specific book blog or booktubing channel is to request books. I'm not saying that is the reason, but it would look that way if you're sending an email like 3 weeks or a month after starting your channel or your book blog. Only do it when you do have a right amount of audience or a right number of audience. People say that you should wait 6 months to send in your requests. We didn't. We sent in our actual physical copy request after 4 months. But I have to point out that a way to boost up your audience, we had a really good number of audience and comments and stuff, so that's why we requested. But a good way to do that is to actually review digital ARCs using NetGalley and currently Edilist. Back in 2011, we did not have Edilist, so me and my sister only used NetGalley. And it's always better to review advanced copies of books, digital advanced copies of books over books that have been out because they attract more people because more people are interested in new books as opposed to old books that have been reviewed countless times. Do that and I'm pretty sure your audience will increase. Also, make sure to form connections between other bloggers, go to their blog, comment and on Twitter. And then this way you actually have a loyal audience. That's what we did. The next step would be to check out which publishers you're interested in. Make sure that that publisher does have a branch in your country because publishers do not send international. So if you maybe live in the Middle East, it would be so much harder for you to get books than if you live in the States or Canada or the UK. So make sure there is a branch of your publishing, of the publishing company you're interested in. Then go on their publicity page and then check the email that is specifically for book reviewers. Most of the publishers do have that. That email would be publicity at the specific publisher name, .com or .ca, wherever you are. And then what you would include in your email first is your name, introduce yourself of course, your book, blog, name or YouTube channel with the link. Make sure that you include what type of books you review, YA, dystopian, list however many genres you actually review or are interested in. And then this is when you start listing your stats, your page views, unique views, comments per month if you want, any other social networking that you use for your book blog or your YouTube channel, such as your Twitter, Facebook, etc. Include all those and all the stats, and then this is when you send in your requests. You just try only listing 1 or 2 titles, not more, because you will look greedy if you list more. So just list 1 or 2 and explain why you're interested in it. So don't just list them as 1, 2, and then that's it. No, actually say why you're interested in it. Whether it's because it's a favorite genre of yours, favorite author wrote this book, or you just read the synopsis and it intrigued you and you want to review it. And then lastly, just close it off with a thank you or best regards or thank you for your time, whatever, and then your name, and that's it. Usually you might not hear back from them, especially if you've only been blogging for 4 to 5 months, but be patient. It takes a while for them to get through all the emails, and even if after a month you don't hear a reply, I would suggest you just wait a couple more months and then email them again. Different publishing companies have different policies. Some are much stricter than others. I do know that Flux, which published this book among other books, is very tough. They have a restriction in that you have to have been blogging for at least a year before even bothering to contact them. So if you haven't been blogging for a year, they don't care. Don't bother contacting them. Other companies such as HBG Canada or HarperCollins are much easier than Flux, so it all depends. I would suggest you trying and then just see how it goes. Make sure you check out NetGalley and Edelweiss first. I think that would be the first step, and then move on to physical books. Lastly, I would say that do not overwhelm yourself with requesting. I do know that initially you're like in this whole book buzz where you're like, oh my god, book high. I call it a book high, where you have all these books that you can request and you just keep on requesting and requesting, even though you might not be completely interested with that book, but you're getting a free book. But let me just tell you, this is going to bite you in the butt, because you're going to be so overwhelmed because you have just so many titles, and book blogging or booktubing becomes a chore, or reading becomes a chore. And let me just tell you, we've been through this to the point that we cut back on our requesting by almost half because we have not been able to read any of the books that we were buying. We would only read review books because we could not keep up. Make sure that you don't request more than you can handle, and only request books you're truly interested in and you know you will like. Because if you just but I mean, you get a free book, so why not request it? Don't. I really suggest that you don't, because it's really tough when you just have so many books, and it just takes the fun out of reading and having a book blog or a book channel. That is all I have to say about the topic of ARCs. I do hope that I answered all the questions, and if you still have more questions, just write them below and I will comment back. I hope you guys found that this was informative, and have a nice day. Bye!